Sacela ukugcina indaba
hayi ngiyabona nalo Thando usazohlupheka ngoba izophela lento yakamojalayo
shaya ngisho njalo ngeke ngikhipha
wena wena shaba
mina ngizomkhulumela ushide ngizomtshela udodi njengoba ngiyela shaya manje shaya sakhoyinja ngikhipha isidodoli
watching Siyacela upsets me so much, guys. Isencane Lengane
wabathuka bona bakashizi kodwa nakashizi kukhona wrong ababe ufuna usiyacela ukuthi ewenze.
The latest episode of Isencane Lengane is probably the most shocking episode of this season. You see, because not only did Siyacela continue to disrespect his elders, but this time somebody said enough was enough and he gave him the smack of a lifetime. And this action would obviously have a lot of people on social media singing Njabulo's praises, with one comment saying, "Lol, so Siyacela knows he will report to the police if he get beat up, but it's okay for him to hit Thando." Interesting. And this would obviously speak to the fact that right after Njabulo slapped and smacked Siyacela around, Siyacela decided to threaten Njabulo by saying that he's gonna call the cops. But that raises a pretty interesting question. Could it be that Siyacela this entire time he's disrespecting elders, disrespecting anybody who's around him? Could it possibly be that he knew that people wouldn't touch him, because if they did, he would try to call the cops and involve the police? Obviously, we all know that Siyacela is a huge personality, is a huge figure in the media, and the show almost doesn't run without him. And so maybe I think he thought that he would have had the protection of the police, or at the very least the media crew. But in this episode, none of that was happening. You've got one comment on Twitter that says, "I knew it was about to go down when Njabulo moved the table out of the way with his foot." And this comment went on to gain 296 likes. And you would even get another comment praising Njabulo's heroic act, saying "Siyabonga Malum Njabulo," gaining 282 likes. In fact, I think we underestimate how significant this moment was for a lot of people who watch Isencane Lengane, because people were so happy with what Njabulo did. One comment on Twitter said, "Does anyone have Njabulo's Capitec account details? We need to thank him and uGogo Shezi as a nation." And this comment gained 532 likes within a day. It's clear that people wanted to see Siyacela getting a taste of his own medicine, because he's obviously slapping and abusing Thando around, but nothing ever happens to him. Thando's father has failed and other people in the past have failed, but where they have failed, Njabulo has clearly been the hero in this story. So obviously the episode starts off already at an explosive point, because uGogo is asking Siyacela to pay damages for a lot of the things that his father has done to the family, and Siyacela is obviously having none of that. Which is very weird, because Siyacela and his family had gone to see uGogo because they wanted to apologize for the way he's been acting and for the things Siyacela's father has done. You see, the whole reason for this meeting in the first place is because of the way Siyacela has been acting. They've been thinking that it's more of a traditional issue, and if they continue to leave things unresolved, Siyacela might even get worse, and worst of all, the Isencane Lengane brand will burn to the ground. This is the real reason why they went to go see uGogo, to apologize and to hopefully make amends so that things will be better in the future. But guys, I want you to understand that this goes even deeper. You see, the whole reason why uGogo is even willing to meet with Siyacela is because she could also see with a few of the things happening in past episodes, like Siyacela's car even burning down, that something really needs to change. She could see that after Siyacela's mother passed away, Siyacela Siyacela was not cleansed properly. They did not go through formal traditional procedures, and she could see that if this continued to happen, something worse might happen. At the end of the day, she is ugogo Siyacela, and she does really care for him, and her seeing his car burn down did not sit well with her. And so to remedy all of this, the family quickly got together and had a meeting discussing them going over to Gogo's house to apologize, but they would need to bring a few things in advance: 2 goats and 4 chickens. That's the price that they would have to pay. Now that's going to be very important as we keep going through this episode, because it's going to be the unfortunate downfall of this entire meeting. And so the meeting started pretty hopeful, with everyone greeting the granny and everyone sharing pleasantries with each other. However, ugogo could see that while Siyacela is sitting in his chair, he clearly harbored a lot of anger and a lot of resentment, and a lot of things that he feels have been left unsaid. And so Njabulo enters, he greets everyone, and the very last person he greets is Siyacela, and he was pretty hesitant to do so, but that's besides the point. Now at this point, it's time for ugogo to really express how she feels and what she believes Siyacela has to do in order for him to receive her full forgiveness. And she starts listing out the issues that she feels Siyacela and even Thando have done on TV regarding bad-mouthing their name and the family name on TV. Basically, ugogo was saying ukuthi amakala ababa kaSiyacela kumele uSiyacela wafeze before anything can move forward with his life. But unfortunately, Siyacela, as we know, did not want to hear any of that. And he would start off with this disrespect, and his uncles had to quickly calm him down and say, look, you can't speak while ugogo is speaking. You need to have a little bit of respect. But Siyacela was clearly on the boiling point. Ugogo would continue to talk about her frustrations regarding what Siyacela had said on TV about her using Thando for black magic practices, and him airing this on TV. Now, ugogo saying this would completely tip everything over on its head, and after that, all hell would completely break loose. Njabulo would quickly lunge over at Siyacela, try to get a few punches in, and Omalume and even ugogo would try to stop the fight from happening. And when they got Njabulo off of Siyacela wanted to leave the meeting because he had clearly had enough of what was happening in this house. And so as Siyacela is leaving, he's clearly still confident, thinking Njabulo won't do anything. But unfortunately, that would be the wrong assumption, because Njabulo quickly beats him to the ground and exposes Siyacela's bums for the cameras to see. And amidst all this chaos, all this fighting, all this back and forth, Siyacela picks up a rock and threatens Njabulo, saying, if you come for me again, I'm going to throw this rock at you. And people completely ate this moment up. But the saddest part of all of this happening is, at the end of the day, this ceremony and this meeting was for Siyacela. They could see that things weren't going well in his life. They could see that he was on a downward spiral, his car burning up, and the fact that he wasn't liked by many people on social media, and they wanted to really fix the situation. And they thought that by coming together, talking about how they could traditionally cleanse him, things might go better for him. But Siyacela, blinded by his rage, blinded by his attitude, couldn't see past that. One comment on Twitter says, it's the fact that they are coming together to try and help him, and he is still disrespectful. This has to be the saddest part of this entire dilemma. It's because he can't see that people really care about him and they want the best for him. All he is worried about is getting a new wife and making more money. But at the end of the day, Siyacela is allowed to be however he wants to be. My main issue and concern is for Thando and the child she's raising. Because if she continues to raise her child in this environment, then we might see another Siyacela in the little boy.